Alright, quick update on JASMY. Let's check out what's going on today. So, today is going to be a bit of a 50-50 video. Let me explain. The technicals are saying one thing, but my gut feeling is saying the other thing, and that is because of the way the market is moving. Now, let's jump into the analysis, and once again, my gut feeling is different from what the analysis is saying. If we look at the analysis, you can see there's a huge amount of selling volume. That is not a good thing. Also, we've come up into the daily EMAs, got a strong rejection. Also, we had a fake out of the bullish pennant and we've now broken back down. Also, if we come over to the 4-hourly time frames, we are currently retesting the bottom of the long-term moving average on the EMA ribbons. We are beneath them within the last 4 hours alone. We have seen a big increase in selling volume, which is not really what you want to see. Bitcoin came down, it had its flush out. I understand JASMY had to come down as well. That is how every altcoin basically worked today. However, the past 12 hours, Bitcoin has been having a big pump with lots of continuation coming through it. We're seeing a big pump in volume, bears are losing control on all sorts of time frames. But what is JASMY doing? JASMY's really not put in too much of an impressive bounce. I mean, if we extrapolate the price target, it might seem okay, but do bear in mind to the downside, since what we've done, since last night, since this morning, well, we're down like 8% even after this bounce. So, like I said, the technicals are bearish. Like, we've had a momentum reset on the bears on the lower time frames, and now we're kind of just in that reaccumulation range, reset range, where it could go over to the bullish side or the bearish side on the daily as well. Like, I mean, this just does not look good. And one more thing before I jump into my gut feeling, because we've come up to the 618 and we've had a rejection. So there are multiple technicals that are saying that we are extremely bearish, and that is not even getting into the fact that we've got a massive all-time high up here. We've got a local high up here, which is a lower high. Zooming into the time frame, we've got a lower high. Zooming into the time frame from the past couple of days, we've got a lower high. So really a lot of the technicals are starting to wipe out the bullish momentum that we put in. However, there are a few bullish signs, and let's talk about it. On the squeeze mom, the daily is still having a huge macro market momentum shift, and I think this is still going to play out. When we talked about this, we had a market momentum shift on the 28th. We had a 210% rally. Bear in mind, I'm drawing it from when the squeeze mom fired. I'm not cherry picking the data. If I cherry picked, I would say we had a 366% rally. Sounds more impressive that way. However, when this fired, when the squeeze mom fired, it was a 200% rally from there. I think we're still going to get up for something like that. And if you've been watching my JASMY videos, I've been talking about a move back up to 5 cent. That is where I do plan on taking at least a decent amount of my profit off the tables for JASMY. We also talked about in my video the 786 fib down here at basically 2 cent, 1.923 something. I have my stop loss down here. A couple of weeks ago we jumped into this trade down here just below 1.8, and if we do hypothetically come down to my stop loss, at least I will be stopped out in a 7% profit. That is the worst case scenario. So a lot of the technicals are pointing for a move to the downside for JASMY. However, I do think JASMY is just taking its time. There are a lot of altcoins today that did get beaten down in the dumps, and I don't want to make this video like a million and 1 hours, but by going through every different crypto that is having a relief rally right now. But I think JASMY just needs a bit of extra time to gear up that momentum. It has had some nasty technicals play out in the past, couple of days or so. If we come over to the 4-hourly from the most recent macro impulse we've had, we've still come back to the 618. So like I said, the technicals are really 50-50, which is, I always want to provide an unbiased perspective and talk about everything in the market. I don't want to just say, my bias and my gut feeling is that we're moving bullish. So I'm only going to talk about the bullish indicators. I'm only going to talk about the fact that we're above the 786. I'm only going to talk about the fact that we've retested the 618 in the micro time frame. I'm only going to talk about the fact that we're flipping to the upside on the squeeze one, on the daily and also the weekly. No, I want to talk about everything to give you an advanced perspective of everything that's going on in the market. However, like I said, my gut feeling is that we are setting up for a big rally on JASMY. That is just what I think is going on. If I'm wrong, once again, 7% profit stop loss down here at 1.926. There's honestly not an awful lot going on JASMY right now. I mean, apart from everything that I've just gone through. We've also got this M pattern breakdown, which we are currently retesting the neckline of. So like I said, a lot of the technicals are looking quite shaky for JASMY today, and it's unfortunate. Even though Bitcoin is having this huge reversal in the past 12 hours or so, JASMY is just not seeing that same type of reversal. But my gut feeling is we are getting ready for a big move. We do just need to, coil up, relax for a day or so before we do flip. Once again, your squeeze mom is about to reset. We need to see continuation come in the next couple of days or so. We're also falling below this previous local high, which is another thing, which is not necessarily too good. However, the squeeze mom, I love running off these momentum indicators. If you've watched me for a while, you know I love these because they just work so well. I mean, they call, these moves a lot of the time, and we were able to call this big rally down here on the 16th. We were calling this as the bottom. A lot of people were thinking it was about to take through the floor, and we saw the momentum shift. We were like, okay, we're about to enter a bullish phase. We entered the market and we had a huge rally in a couple of days. And bear in mind, we entered on the 16th and then we were flat on the 17th, the 18th. It was only 3 days later we started rallying. I think JASMY just needs some time, contrary to the technicals, which do look, I'd argue, 70 to 75% in the favor of the bears. My gut feeling is that we are going to have a move to the upside. And once again, I didn't want to just show you the bullish technicals to try and fit a narrative. I do try and be as unbiased as possible, and you guys know I hold JASMY. I'm in a trade for JASMY. I obviously want it to do well. I'm not trying to FUD it. I do just have to talk about everything I do see in the market. I wouldn't be doing any of my followers any good deeds if I only talked about things that fit my narrative. I'm not that type of YouTuber. However, there's a few different things you can argue. I mean, you could still argue we're in a bull flag. You can still argue we're having a macro market momentum shift. There's a few good things going on for JASMY, so I will keep my eye on it. Like I said, not an awful lot going on. We are kind of trading to the side for the past couple of days. I do think we are gearing up for that rally, although, like I said, stop loss down here, worst comes to worst. That is all I see for JASMY. It still looks good to me in the short term. However, the technicals disagree. Let me know what you think. Do you think the technicals are going to be right, or do you think my gut feeling is going to be right and we are going to have this reversal up to 5 cent in the next coming weeks, maybe the next month? That is all I've got for JASMY. Oh, one more thing. This is actually a bullish thing. Inverse head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. Almost forgot about this. This is a huge signal, and this is another reason we're having these big macro market momentum shifts. I mean, screw what's happened in the past 24 hours. Who cares about the volume? I mean, obviously most people care, but these bigger time frames, look how undervalued or undersold or oversold rather the RSI is right now. We're down here at 23 and we're here at 49. Our oscillators are completely undersold right now, oversold rather, and the MFI has just had a breakout of this inverse head and shoulders, while the squeeze bomb on the daily is heading up and the squeeze bomb on the weekly is heading up. I mean, I do think we are gearing up for a macro market momentum shift. I do just think we might need to, put our space helmets to the side, refuel the gas, fuel up the rockets, and just wait for a couple of days or so before we make a decision. That is all I see for JASMY. Once again, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion on the market. And as always, cowboy out. Peace.